every film festival, they have that one movie that I feel like everyone's gonna love, and I'm just gonna sit there and be like, I liked it. I didn't love it, though. What's going on, buddy? Welcome back to a brand new movie review. Today we're going to be discussing the brand new international film You Won't Be Alone, which just had its premiere at Sundance 2022. This film is coming out in April 1st, in fact, so it's funny that it's coming out on April Fool's. But this is not a fool's joke, because this is about an isolated mountain village in 19th century Macedonia and a young woman who is kidnapped and then transformed into a witch by an ancient spirit. Adding in there, she starts to go through her entire life, taking the forms of different people in this village, which I actually think is a very interesting concept, because this witches, this coven, in a sense, can actually go kill an animal and take its place, kill a being, kill a girl, kill a human, kill a kid, and take their place. And this young girl who was kidnapped and really much never got her own life to experience, this is her way of experiencing it. And I found this movie to be absolutely intriguing, and there's moments that I absolutely loved, there's moments that I absolutely liked and cherished and appreciated, and then there's moments that I thought it was a little bit, not too much, but just too long. And I think the runtime of this movie is actually the biggest detriment to it all. And I actually want to start out with my cons for this, because all my cons center around these same exact issues with I have this. And one of the big things is that the director and writer of this, Goran Stolevski, he very much takes in a Terrence Malick type style for this movie. And Terrence Malick is not my cup of tea. I very rarely like any of his movies. And when I do like his movies, I always have these same exact issues, and I found my issues to also be within You Won't Be Alone. And I do think the title is brilliant. I think so much of this film is brilliant. But the thing that held this film back from me for loving it is two things. One, I emotionally was not connected to our main character, nor the story she was going in. Even though I cherished and I appreciated what I was watching, I was never emotionally invested where I was like, this is like, I'm cheering for her to get her happy ending. And there were moments that I felt that, but I never could latch onto everything. As well, my biggest issue, though, and I do think this is why I couldn't get emotionally attached, is the runtime. This movie becomes very repetitive within its nature, taking the place of this person, taking the place of this animal, taking the place of this. And through its repetitive nature, for a 2-hour runtime, the film does start to drag, especially towards the third act, as you've gone through the same repetitive cycle, and that is where the movie started to kind of lose me in a sense. I actually believe that if this movie wasn't 2 hours long, and you would have made this movie around maybe an hour and 30, hour and 40, I think this movie would have really much latched onto me a little bit more, because there's not one central performance, because Noomi Rapace is absolutely great in here, but she's honestly barely in the movie. Everyone comes to play in here. Every single actor and actress you see in here absolutely brings this world to life. It really much feels that Goran went back in time to 19th century Macedonia and started recording people and documenting their culture, their life, and everything of that nature, because there was not one frame and point in here that I wasn't like locked into what was going on. There wasn't one frame in here where I was like, oh, this just is a movie, and it took me out of the experience. The entire time, even though I did think it was too long, I couldn't take my eyes off the screen because of everything going on. And that is one of the biggest elements of this, is that in a sense, it's two different things. There's two different stories to be told in here. One, a young girl who was robbed of her entire life, and in a sense wants that coming of age story, and you get that coming of age story within here. But you also get a story that's just not centered on witches and everything of that nature. It's more of a folk tale, as well as a documentation of the history within this 19th century village, as well as witches, Macedonia, and in general, just the culture there. These two elements that are combined here are the reasons that I cherish movies like this, because we don't get too many movies like this. And while, again, I couldn't get fully invested with the character or fall in love with it, and maybe that wasn't the point, and I did think the runtime was too long, there's moments in here and glimmers of it where I was sucked into this world. I think Goran's direction is the big standout of this. Now, I don't know how they're going to market this movie. I've barely watched the trailers for this, because there is one trailer out currently right now. And if they're marketing it as a horror movie, I completely disagree. That is not the way to go. This is more of a drama in any sense. It can be gory, it can be bloody, but at the center of it all, that is the heart of it, is a dark drama that has a lot of messed up imagery to it. I found the concept here to be just, again, excellent in its execution in the way that Goran was able to bring it to life. There was not one frame and point where I was like, oh, this is just a movie. No, I felt like I was actually transported back there, and a lot of that also goes to the cinematography, the technical levels of it. And a lot of this movie, I think one of the most brilliant things about this, in international movies, I think, you know, I'm not versed in this language, so a lot of it is subtitles, and that's totally fine with me. I mean, look at Parasite, look at The Raid, look at a bunch of these different movies that we get all the time now, and I love that it's becoming more of a mainstream thing to be in love with international movies and shows. And You Won't Be Alone, the thing that I loved about the way that the director handled it this time is, even though you could have gotten rid of the entire subtitles and visually I still would have understood what was going on. This is a visually storytelling device that I haven't seen in a long time. And this goes to any movie, because if you look at a lot of movies and you take out all the words and you made it a complete silent film, visually, what can the film tell you? It's very rare when a film visually can tell its same story, its same messaging, and you understand every aspect of it. And this is clearly evident within the first 30 minutes, because there is not a lot of dialogue in here. A lot of the dialogue is actually internally told through this girl's perspective of what she is saying in her mind. And I think those are elements, again, that I find this film, while I didn't love, I cherish. That's what I want to say is You Won't Be Alone. I loved moments of this movie. I cherished others. Even though I felt nothing while watching it emotionally, I was just intrigued with this excellent concept that, again, became a bit repetitive with its runtime, and I feel like if it was shorter, would have really furthered out the execution of the entire thing. But Goran's direction is absolutely great. I can't wait to see what he does next now, and this is truly one part coming-of-age story and another part diving into a culture that is never really explored. This is a movie to experience. Like, hands down, this is an experience more than anything else. I was thoroughly impressed with this one, even though it didn't fully latch me in, and that's why I'm gonna give this movie a B. Once again, guys, for watching this, you guys are seriously all the best. I really do appreciate you guys. Again, hit that like and subscribe button if you love talking movies, as well as leave a comment on your guys' thoughts. Have you seen this movie? Have you not? I know it's coming out very soon. I can't wait to see your guys' thoughts on this. As well, if you're interested in seeing movies as well, make sure to head on over to Sandwich Films. Tons of giveaways, tons of advanced screenings over there as well. But, of course, guys, once again, have a great rest of your day, and until next time, stay classy.